welcome to the very first virtual World Environment Day event. My name is Kathy Earle and my company is called Earth. Why Earth? Earth is an Old English word for earth, a period in time before plastic existed on our planet. Earth is taking you back to that time by providing solutions to everyday products without the plastic. Today, I'd like to walk you through a few misconceptions about plastics, how plastics break down in our environment, and the different types of plastics that are available to us today. And to do this, I'm going to use one item that we're all trying hard to eliminate, and that's the plastic bag. So let's get started. So the first bag we're going to take a look at today, first plastic bag, is a degradable plastic bag. Now, this plastic bag has the words on it, environmentally aware. I'm not sure what part of the environment that they're aware of, possibly that this plastic bag is polluting the environment, and they are aware of that. Because a degradable bag is simply a plastic bag. Everything degrades eventually, but plastic, when it degrades into microplastics. So degradable bags are a definite no-no. They are simply plastic bags. Our next bag I have as an illustration is actually a dog poop bag. And this product says it is oxo-degradable. So the difference between a regular degradable plastic bag and an oxo-degradable plastic bag is that it has a chemical additive added to the bag that allows it to break down quicker. Now, it's important to note with an oxo-degradable bag is that this product has actually been banned in the EU. At the moment, this product is still legal in Australia. Please avoid oxo-degradable plastic products. Next on our list is biodegradable bags. Now, as you can see, this is not a biodegradable bag, it is a beautiful little box. When we think about biodegradable, we often think of items like an apple core. If we throw that into the bushes, we know that eventually it will break down and biodegrade. But the period of time it takes to break down and biodegrade is what's important, because biodegradable products don't just break down overnight. And I'm going to illustrate this today by showing you this plastic bag, which is a biodegradable plastic bag. Now, I picked up this bag in Canada about 8 years ago now, and it has been in my back cupboard for over 5 years. I found it last year actually, and it had started to break down. So I've put it into this box, which is why it's in this little box, because it is actually breaking down into small pieces. And this is what happens when a plastic bag, regular plastic bag, will degrade. It will turn into microplastics, so small pieces of plastic. But this bag is biodegradable. So it has broken down into small pieces of plastic, and it's just slowly breaking down. However, it requires sunlight, it requires oxygen, it requires microorganisms in order for this bag to break down. So if we are to put it into an environment that doesn't have those features, such as a landfill, then it's going to not break down because landfills don't provide those types of environments. And also, if it's just going to get thrown into the bushes, so if we go back to our doggy poop bag, many people think that if they just throw their bag into the environment, it's biodegradable, it'll simply break down. That's really not the case. It will take years and years for that bag to actually break down. And that's what this illustration is about. This is a biodegradable bag, and it's been 8 years sitting in the back of a cupboard, and it's only just started to break down now. Biodegradable may not necessarily be the solution to our environmental issue with plastics. So now that we've covered biodegradable, we've covered oxo-degradable, we've covered degradable bags. Next up is compostable plastics. And the first bag I'd like to show you is this dirty, horrible compostable bag that I have here. Now, it states that it is 100% compostable. What I can tell you about this bag is that I've placed it in my home composting system for over 2 years now, and this bag is still fully intact. Nothing has happened to this bag. I don't know whether it's simply a matter of the bag has been stated that it's compostable. I mean, the ink hasn't even come off it, so it's fairly unlikely that this bag is even compostable. It's just a statement on here that says it is. It's probably just a regular plastic bag. But most compostable products are in fact compostable. What we need to look out for though is the logos that are located on them. Many plastic products are industrial composting plastic only. And what that means is that plastic needs to be sent to an industrial composting facility in order for it to break down. The problem here is that we don't have a lot of industrial composting facilities in Australia. And many industrial composting facilities that do exist do not want industrial composting plastics in their system because they take a very long time to actually break down. So industrial composting products aren't going to break down in landfill. They don't have the environment that is necessary and suited. They don't have the hot temperatures to break the product down. So it's best to avoid industrial composting plastics unless you know they are actually going to be composted in an industrial composting facility. Home compostable plastics, the next plastic that we want to look at today. The first thing to note about home compostable plastics is that they have a logo on them that states they are home compostable. So if you look at industrial composting plastics, often they just simply state they are compostable, which doesn't let us know which type of composting they are actually able to go into. So if you are looking for a home compostable product, they are always going to have a home compostable logo on them because the manufacturers do want you to know that they are acceptable in home composting systems. In Australia, what you want to look out for is this home composting logo. It has the numbers on it, AS5810, and that is the Australian symbol for home compostable products. The other logo that we might see is the OK Compost logo. Now, they don't always look like this, that's in a circle. Some of them are a square, and they have OK Home Compost written on them. Either one of them is fine. I've actually put both of these bags into my compost system and they both break down just fine, so there is no problem with them being a home compostable product. But what we want to note about home compostable products is that just like industrial composting products, they must be placed into your home composting system in order for them to break down. Compostable products aren't going to break down in the landfill. So if you are going to opt for a home compostable product or an industrial composting product, then make sure that it gets its way to those facilities. Otherwise, it's just another piece of plastic that isn't going to break down in our environment. So let's summarize what we've learned today. Number one, degradable plastics are simply plastics that will break down into microplastics. Number two, oxo-degradable plastics are simply plastics with an additive added that will allow them to break down at a quicker rate. Number three, biodegradable plastics are plastics that will biodegrade, but the time frame in which they actually will biodegrade. Number four, industrial composting. Industrial composting plastics need to go to an industrial facility in order for them to break down. They need the higher temperatures, and they also require a longer time frame in order for them to break down. Number five, home compostable plastics. While home compostable plastics are an excellent choice, home composting plastics need to be placed into your home composting system in order for them to break down. By simply placing them into the landfill, they will not break down in that environment because that is not what they are intended for. I hope you've enjoyed this session today on the different types of plastics, and if you have any other questions, please come over and visit us at the eOrth online store and let me know what you'd like to know about plastics. Thanks for joining me today.